Hello again. A question I often ask myself is, will a coach make you or me a better cyclist? Well, I am a coach, so I guess I'm a bit biased because it's my full-time job. But also I have a coach, I pay a coach to help me with my cycling, and I find that helps for me. But whether a coach will make you a better cyclist is, it's debatable. It's like in most things, it depends. It depends on your personality, it depends on your goals, it depends what you want to, how you want to train, whether it might get in the way of your training. So, it depends. And perhaps it depends on these three things. Training for endurance sport is pretty simple, really. You're just trying to do as much training as you can sustain, so a good volume, but you don't want that volume of training to interfere with your harder training that is faster. So you're doing a lot of training slower than your race pace and a little amount of training above your race pace to stimulate your speed or your maximum powers so that you can go a little bit faster and then your race pace will go up. So that's basically training for endurance sport in a nutshell. And these things get a little bit nuanced as you get better. You can start to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. For instance, if you're doing road races, somebody that I work with is training to do some road race, and he sometimes do some criteriums. And what he's finding is he's struggling to stay with the bunch when he does surges. So he's training his powers at around his VO2 max, sort of his 5 or 6 minute power, and he's doing that by doing 6 by 3 minutes with 3 minutes recovery, that type of thing, and that works. But the basics are the same. You get better at what you train for, and if you don't train a certain thing, you get worse at it. And if you understand that and understand your body, you might not need a coach. But what can be quite difficult is not making a plan and following it when you're all excited and enthusiastic. It's making a plan and following it, having the motivation and accountability to follow it consistently when it gets a bit boring. And also if things go wrong, when you get a bit tired or when you get fitter faster than you expected, which is nice, or more realistically, when you get fitter slower than you really want to, because everybody wants to get fit really fast. What do you do about it? If your training's not working for you, what do you change? So if you're good at understanding the theory and listening to your body and being able to back off when you need to back off and push on when you need to push on, then that's great. But if you're not, then having a coach can help with that. So it's getting that balance, the balance between the hard work, the faster work, and the easier work, the slower endurance type work that trains your aerobic efficiency. And that balance changes. And also having somebody in it with you who cares about your training can be really helpful, because if your family might not understand what you're trying to do, or even understand why you bother going out and flocking yourself on the bike every day to develop your fitness and do some race that is also quite unpleasant to go through. Whereas your coach does understand that, and that can actually be quite nice. But if you've got cycling buddies, they can fulfill that role as well. And also your family can help you spot when you're overtired. They can tell you whether you're a bit more grumpy than usual and all these sort of things. And modern applications like HRV for training, checking your heart rate and your heart rate variability and recording your subjective metrics can give you some insight into your level of fatigue and whether you should be backing off or not. Although these things aren't really perfect, and it's actually quite hard to be objective about your own training. So I suppose one of the things that you're buying with a coach is experience. And I can develop experience a lot more quickly, not because I'm an athlete, I do train myself, but also I'm coaching 20 athletes, and I'm also interacting with my coach. So, he's coaching 20 athletes, and we discuss coaching as well as, my training. So I've got a bigger wealth of knowledge to draw on, and then by working with me personally, I can sort of work that towards your particular circumstances. So that's something that is actually quite difficult to have by just training yourself. Although a lot of the most successful athletes do just train themselves and have a mentor. And actually that's one of the things that Claire and I are trying to develop here at Endurance Bike and Run, is a support network for people. So for instance, we have our Facebook group, which is free, anybody can join it. And also we have our training groups. So we have a budget, an affordable training group whereby you can buy into the training group, get email support from us. We have fortnightly workshops, and also our new plan is you can have for a subscription you can have a monthly training plan, as well as all those things, the workshops and the email support. And that can, we feel that that's like a bit better than somebody buying a training plan, and it actually might even be better than a lower level coaching package. So what it would be useful to know from you is, if you're interested in this type of thing, what would you like that to contain? So if you'd like add some comments or get in touch with me, that would be really useful to know what you think might be useful to you. Anyway, that's it basically. I would say that having a coach is likely to make you a better cyclist, but it won't necessarily make you a better cyclist. And actually having the wrong coach can just be a stressful experience and unhelpful. So the decision's yours. Get in touch if you want my thoughts on things, if you want to actually arrange a chat and see whether things might work for you. That might be interesting for you, and I'm sort of biased, but I wouldn't tell you that you should have a coach. It doesn't have to be me if you don't need a coach. You can have a free chat and talk about your training. Anyway, get in touch and let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.